Hi Flosstube, today is Saturday, June 4th, 2022, and this is Flosstube number 1, the very exciting and inaugural episode of Running with Scissors, Stitching with Jane and Julie. I'm Jane.
And I'm Julie, and we're excited to share with you our passion for all things needlework. With this being our first episode, we'd like to tell you a little bit about ourselves and how we met, give you a glimpse into what we enjoy and what you can expect in future episodes. So you can start first.
Oh God, the pressure. I can't take it. So I am an IT project manager by day, and by night I'm a wife and a mom, a needle worker, a photographer, sometimes a baker, always a pain in Julie's side. It's one of my enhanced skill sets. I will celebrate with my husband in November. I could have said that a little more awkwardly, I think. Our 35th wedding anniversary. We got married when we were very young.
Yes.
I think I was 10.
Yeah.
Maybe when we got married.
That'd make me 11.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. And we have an adult daughter, 25. They are off living their best life. Occasionally, we get to see them. EB, call your mom. Answer the text messages. That's all I'll say about that. I was handed a needle when I was very young, a sewing needle, not another kind of needle, but it wasn't for a happy reason at first. So someday I will tell you all that story if you want to hear it. But growing up, I was surrounded with very talented women. On my mom's side of the family, my grandmother was a seamstress, a quilter. She braided wool rugs. She was a tatter. My mom was a seamstress, could make anything, could mend anything, and she is crocheting and knitting to this day at 86.
Yes.
I inherited none of that talent. I was actually asked to leave home ec class, and back then we knew it as junior high school. Now I guess it would be middle school.
Yes.
Because I used bad language when I was putting a zipper into my purple shorts, which ironically were the same hideous color of purple as the wall you see behind us. My grandmother on my dad's side wasn't so much a seamstress, but she could mend anything. And she embroidered. She embroidered pillowcases, table runners, did the fine, like lacy edges on the outside of the pillowcases. And she's the one that really was the biggest influence in me picking up a needle. And I'll tell you that story like some other time.
Okay.
How about you?
Oh, me. Well, I am also a wife and a mother of 2 grown adults and a grandmother of our pride and joy 16-year-old Bella June.
Oh boy.
Yeah. And it's kind of fun that I mentioned her because she made her video debut on my first DVD when she was 3 weeks old. So a lot of the stitchers that I know of Bella, and she's growing up to be such a beautiful young lady. I met Jane while teaching at Hardanger class.
Yes.
And ironically, she was the only student that seemed to struggle a little bit and made the
What are the odds?
statement of, why is it the craft that I chose after a stressful corporate day compiled of the 2 words hard and anger? To which I replied, I will help you take the heart out of Hardanger, which became the name of my reference book and my DVD.
Oh, I was going to magically pull it out of this pile.
Years ago, when we were doing Hardanger, the only publications that were available, oh, seriously, shameless, it's the same color purple as the wall.
It is a hideous color of purple.
They gave you a quarter of a pattern.
Right.
And a photo and an arrow as to where to start. So the class would choose a doily, and then I would from week to week, frantically hand stitch the stitch diagram and techniques and photocopy them on the
Thank
copy
God.
machine and hand them all out. Well, I kind of thought maybe I could create a design that incorporated all my teaching techniques. And that's how I made my first publication of the Ultimate Teaching Doily. And I used that in classes going forward. And then I was challenged to design a few things for my friends. And that's kind of what stumbled into my design business that I started in 1996. So
Wow.
I
can't believe it's been that long. That's amazing.
Well,
You were very young.
Yes, I was 11. So Tom and I have been married for 42 years, and he just retired. Well, actually, it's been a year today, June 24th.
Happy
It's not the 24th, June 4th, 2021.
Happy retirement anniversary.
Yes, and we have survived, so that is really a good thing. With that being said, 26 years I was in the business, and my eyes have begun to fail me, and I have a hand tremor and really bad pain in my hands. So I decided since he's retired, I would retire as well. So I did one last show in November, and now I am embarking on a whole new world of being a social stitcher.
What is that?
Not a business stitcher with deadly deadlines. So everything I have collected over the last 26 years of patterns, I now actually get to stitch. However, I'm having a little bit of trouble, as Jane can attest to.
Some adjustment disorder.
I am used to designing something, stitching it, charting it, doing the model, and getting it published. And I go on to the next one. This whole concept of, oh, look, I started something new. Oh, look, I started something new. I'm like, you didn't finish what you just started. She informed me we can have multiple works in progress, so that's kind of been a challenge for me to do.
To not have to stitch with a deadline and a specific purpose.
It's hard because that's what I've done all these years. Now it's difficult to find the hole in the fabric. So I would like to share, and I'm going to let you start because you've got so much stuff to share. I only have 3
Oh,
things.
stuff that we finished.
Yeah.
All right.
Not what we finished. Let's do, what were we going to do? This is really hard for me. I am used to being so regimented.
Get over it.
I told her, no one plans spontaneity like I do. And Jane is like, yeah, whatever. And I'm like, no, we have to have a schedule. We need to have paperwork. We need to have everything that there is. So, what are you working on? That's what I'd like to see right now. Top of your pile here. Yep.
Okay. All right. So the first thing I'm working on, and I'll say, in case we didn't say it out loud, this will be a channel about cross stitch, but also Hardanger.
Yes.
So you'll probably see a mix of those from each time to each time.
And we both have, we were talking about this the other day, we both have really different tastes, but I cherish and admire everything that you choose. I love all of the designers that you like, and I'm a little bit different with what my taste of designers is, but it's mutual.
Yeah, I love what you do.
You know, and we're kind of cross-mingling. I don't know.
Crossing the streams in Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Well, no, what we're doing is we are running with scissors.
Yes, true.
We're very straightforward, but we have been known to go wild.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I first started cross-stitching and changing over from stitching out of books to actually like getting a specific pattern and stitching. I mean, I need still, at my ripe old age, I need granimals to get dressed every day. I mean, I'm very challenged that way. So if I picked out a pattern and the local needlework store didn't have that exact fabric and those exact fibers, I wouldn't buy it and I wouldn't stitch it. So my version of Garanimals for stitching and my number one cross stitch pattern or passion is shepherd's bush.
Yes.
So you will see a lot of shepherd's bush. If you're not a fan, why? But I apologize in advance. And I am actually working on a shepherd's bush piece.
Oh, when you send me photos of the progress, I'm like, oh, I just love that. This one especially.
Dip your toe in the water.
I shall.
Okay, so I am working on Shepherd's Hill, which is an older piece. This is a kit, and I am stitching with all of the called for silks. This is one that has silks with the very soft shepherd's bush palette with the sage greens and the lavenders.
That's what deters me about some of the older shepherd's bush kits is I've never stitched with silk. So I'm going to have to try.
Yeah, you will love it. You will love it. I love the silks. I still love cotton. DMC over-dyed cotton, just the same. But once you start with silk, you will just love it. So here's my progress so far.
Can you get it rolled up?
Oh, I don't know. I'm kind of like challenged, I think. I don't want to take it off of the scroll bars, but that's my progress there. I have a few of the specialty bands left to go, and then there's another cross stitch band toward the bottom.
Yeah.
So
and that's what's fun about those is they have a specialty band or a stitch, or I love how they use little tiny little buttons or a little charm to add some dimension to it. So they are beautiful.
Yeah, I used to be afraid of the specialty bands, and so when I first started stitching their patterns and kits, if it had a specialty band, I was like, oh, I'll just kind of skip that for now. And then one summer we went to the cabin and I just grabbed a chart or a kit before we left. It was my only thing to stitch. And I got up there and I was like, I guess we're doing this.
Yep.
There's nothing else to stitch.
And it's not that hard once you get into it.
You have to take a deep breath, maybe a big swig
You have to.
of your diet.
You have to
beverage.
count.
Or that's the challenge, right?
Yeah.
The counted part of counted cross stitch is a big challenge for me. So that's my primary cross stitch in progress. I do have a couple of Hardanger things that are in progress.
Surprise!
No! So the first one is a piece that's out of a Classic Creations 4, which I think is also an older book. And I'm stitching this one down here.
On what fabric?
This would be 28 count Buttermilk Jobelan with DMC 38 something.
Yeah.
I'll put it in the description box. But
it's beautiful.
Here's where I am.
I'll help you hold it. So
cool. So all of the surface work is done. I've got eyelets to do, the buttonhole, and then the dreaded cutting and wrapping.
After all these years, if you're still worried about cutting, I haven't done my job.
Well, I'm a fairly monogamous stitcher when it comes to cross stitch, but I am kind of a habitual starter when it comes to Hardanger, because once I get past the cluster blocks and the surface work or whatever, it's like, I can't do this, and so I move on. Yes, please. And then the next one is actually one of your designs.
Ancient designs. Oh my God, when I spiral bound them.
I like the spiral bound.
Yeah.
This is Sophie, and I am stitching the long version over there.
Because she's already stitched the medium version.
I already stitched the medium one. White on white. Please don't ever let me do that again.
No, I won't.
And here is my progress.
It's very long.
Yep, it's very long.
And one of my favorites to do. As I've done it twice.
You could actually wear it as a
I wouldn't
shawl.
suggest that, but yeah.
All of the cluster blocks and the surface work is done. I don't know what you were on when you designed it, but I think there's 1,100 eyelets.
Well, see, that's the thing. I don't count them. You do.
I am keeping track.
She keeps track.
I am keeping track.
So, shall I?
Yes.
she asked me to bring this. So this is the finished piece. Oh my gosh, it really is long.
Oh, Lord.
Get the right side. And that's kind of a tip. If you're into Hardanger, you can always put a tiny little thread on the back side over a cluster block so people know that's the back side. But this is a cut work. Do I have it right? So
Yeah.
you can see. And picots are all in through here. Plain wrap. I love the simplicity of plain wrapped bars. I think it just sets the whole thing off.
You know, and I'm
So,
reminded now,
whoops,
not
this
only
way. I'm not
are
good
there
with this camera thing.
not only are there 1,100 eyelets, that's a lot of picots.
Well,
I might need a tutorial to do
well,
the picots.
I do have a technique to make a perfect picot. You know, for every stitcher, there's their way of doing a picot. Sometimes you can make a little loop. And I learned from elderly woman, 28 years ago. And I told her I didn't like the way the picots looked. I just didn't. I wasn't going to make a little knot and do a little dance. And something with licking people. I don't like that. I didn't want to put any moisture. Actually, they do.
Yeah.
So anyways, she said, well, then figure it out. And she challenged me. So
She double dog dared
Yep.
you.
So what I did is
Works
I
every
did.
time.
I created a picot that is similar to a French knot, which everyone went wah wah when it comes to French knots.
No wonder I'm so terrible
But
at it.
no,
I'm terrible at French knots.
if you do it correctly, it turns out every time. I've told you that 10 times. It turns out every time, and they're perfect, and they're it's the perfect picot. And so I do have that in my Take the Heart Out Hardanger
Yeah.
book.
I might need a
So,
tutorial
alright.
when it comes to that
Okay.
part of Sophie.
So even though I am retired from teaching and shows, retail shows, my website is still up. But I don't want this to be all about my website.
But we'll put it in the
Yeah.
description box.
But there are still some patterns available. And the technique books, if you happen to want to learn Hardanger, or if you've done Hardanger for years and you want to pick up some tips we've talked about, that's available. So Jane actually helped me write the book. Because you could type back then, I couldn't. So late nights are on the computer, and I'm sitting there going, what am I doing? I'm yarning over. No, we can't put yarn over because that's knitting.
Yeah.
But we hammered it out, and it's really been a helpful reference book for everyone. So
Yeah, I mean, Take the Heart Out of Hardanger is in every...
you've got-
Whenever I start a project, I always put it in there, and I reference it often.
Okay, enough about me. So do you have any more that are in progress?
No,
May I share? Because I have 2.
I wish you would.
Jane has hundreds, but we just wanted to limit the show to
I don't have
a day.
hundreds.
Okay, so I am working on something. I call it my Danish runner because it's made with Danish flower thread, and I have no clue what the designer is. The copyright on it was 1972. So it's a 50-year-old pattern.
Wow.
I saw it. I've had it since 1999. I've wanted to stitch it since 1999. So I started it, 6 months ago?
Yeah,
But,
probably something like that.
you know.
Oh,
So, you haven't seen the finish.
oh my god.
So what it is, it simply was this rooster. Where am I?
There you are.
This rooster.
Wow.
I don't know. It's so simplistic, but to me, I just loved it. And we're stitching with like real
I
Danish
love
thread.
those vibrant colors.
Dansk Blomstergarn.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah. So I decided to use that little simplistic pattern into a runner.
Oh,
I'm off screen again.
gorgeous.
So there. So it's like, how do you edge it? I didn't want to hem stitch it. I didn't want to edge it like a quilt or anything.
Right.
So I figured out how to space and chart it out. Hardanger cluster block border And let me see. Help me, Jane. Why am I struggling with this? Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing a cluster block border, and then I'll do a buttonhole edge.
Okay,
And
you are going to do a buttonhole.
yeah.
Okay.
I just wanted to finish it this far. And then I'll cut it out. And I had to do a little antiquing to find one of those milk glass little rooster dishes to put in the middle.
Man.
So I'll put that on my trunk. So that's my Danish runner.
I
Then
love that so much.
I have what I just call my pink tulip. I'm so bad at names. But here, let me tell you what it is. It is the Jelly Bean Jubilee.
Brenda Gervais.
Yes, she has become one of my favorite designers from
I can't go down another rabbit hole.
with a needle and thread. So this is stitched on, what did they have it on? She had it stitched on a 14 count linen or 40 count linen, which I don't think I'm ready to do.
You could do it, but
so this is what I
look at
did.
that.
I did it on, let me see here. This is Jobelan 28 count Caribbean blue.
I love that color.
I think it really makes
especially with the pink.
And it's a real simplistic pattern, but what I'm going to do is make it into, I like to mount a lot of things on wood. So when I finish it, I'll let you know because it's a really simple stitch.
Oh, I can't wait.
And then, is that all I have in the works? Yeah. I need to start some more. I have like hundreds. I have hundreds of patterns, but I just feel like I have to stitch it and then move on. So I'll change. I'll try to be part of the team.
Change your ways.
Yikes. Okay. What do you want to talk about now? Do you have a finish?
I do have a couple of finishes.
Okay. Shall we do that next?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
Okay. Transfer my pile.
It just doesn't pay to be neat and orderly because we just wound up piling it all on the table.
I know,
anyways.
but at least we don't have big piles on the floor yet.
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 This first one is so nerve-wracking for me, this video. Because like Jane in the corporate world is like, there's a crisis. Yeah, no worry. I got this. I got the answer. I'll get you the solution. Next phone call is like, oh my gosh, you know, the world's on fire. Don't worry. I'll put it out. And, you know, she's just there. And me, I'm like, I've got a show in November. I'm going to plan for 6 months and get everything ready. And then it's like 2 days and I'm done. So yeah. I am the habitual planner, and so I've like we've got like write a script. Jane's like, no, we got this.
I'm not a script gal.
No,
but I did promise not to break out into song.
Thank you. Yeah,
this time.
Yeah, she's been known to do that. So
okay, my first
and does take requests.
Yeah.
All right, take it away.
All right. My first one is a Shepherd's Bush finish, and I think this was a 2022 market release. This is called To Be Free.
And that's stitched with one thread, right?
32 count, 1/2.
Yeah.
With cotton. I used to think that 30, so I think the number of strands that you use is like a personal choice.
Oh, it's not a rule?
Not one that shouldn't be, broken. But I was always taught if it's 32 count, like anything less than 36 count, it should be 2 strands. Well, then the Shepherd's Bush kits came along, and all of their kits are 1/2 on 32 count, and it kind of blew my mind. But I like the lighter look. I'm less of my style or what I'm drawn to is less airy than maybe the look of something that's more like tapestry.
See, and that's what I like.
So yeah. So
this was floss or
this is Weeks dye work.
Oh, okay.
So this is overdyed cotton. And here is the finish.
Oh, it is so charming.
And I made a change. The actual pattern has a back stitched border all the way around it. And I chose not to do it, and I'll show you why in a second. But I loved every stitch of it. I
So
just
cute.
loved every stitch.
So cute. And it's got a star button and some little flower
little
buttons.
tiny flower buttons.
That really adds some dimension to that. And
And
I love the little eagle on top.
with his long tail.
Yeah.
And this is, the other finish is also Shepherd's Bush. This is Alphabet Basket. And is one of her more kind of like primitive sampler style pieces. And here is that finish. This is, again, 32 count, over dyed cotton, 1/2.
But then by not doing that border,
Yeah, I wanted it to be able to be a companion piece
very
with
nice.
the other one. Even though Alphabet Basket really isn't a patriotic themed, I liked how it had that sampler-like border around the outside, and I wanted them to be similar. And I'm not the most patient backstitcher.
No.
So,
And as much as it added to the piece, it's not missed if it's not there,
I
in my
don't
opinion.
think so. I mean, I don't mess with her designs very much, because it's perfect. But this one, I decided I'll take the liberty. I can always put it on later. Better to put it on later than to put it on, regret it, and then have to pick all of that out, especially because it's in a darker color.
Well, and you knew you wanted them as a companion piece, so
I did.
so that made that possible.
And my other finish is Blackbird, What Remains. I love this
Which is a
piece.
very popular piece right now.
Yeah, I think it was kind of a limited edition for, it was available only through Traditional Stitches up in Canada for a while, and you could buy just the pattern or the kit, which came with the fabric and the over-dyed floss. And I chose to buy the kit. I wasn't ready for 40 count. So this is done on 36 count Weeks Dye Works straw.
Love the fabric.
Oh,
Can you get it?
Yeah, this will take a while to get used to. And I made some modifications. Instead of the two birds next to the heart at the top, I put my initial and then my husband's initial M. And then right above love, there used to be a bird there. I put E. Our daughter's name is Evie. And then 1987 is the year that we got married.
Yes.
So, yeah. My first, I guess, real sampler, a primitive sampler or a reproduction sampler. Normally, like, not my style. I loved every stitch.
Yep.
And I didn't have any trouble with the 36 count, which was kind of a surprise to me. So I may be brave, and in one of my next starts, 40 count.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, if I look right over there in drawer number 3, there are probably about, a dozen, shall we just be 12, 14, 15 pieces of 40 count linen that she just had to have.
Yeah, I'm developing a very bad fabric accumulation habit.
Oh, I think it's awesome.
But it's so beautiful. And can I tell you one story?
Sure.
Okay, so Shepherd's Hill. This was like a made my year kind of thing. So the first satin stitch band, I was having a lot of trouble with it. And it didn't come out on the other end like the picture showed. It was going to. I maybe would have left it, but you can see
you wouldn't
here.
have left it because you texted me 3 times hysterical. Sorry. This is truth. That it didn't turn out.
It's kind of true.
Yeah.
But I couldn't just leave it because these fan motifs take up the negative space. And I didn't know what to do. I searched the internet. I couldn't really find anything. So I thought, well, I'll just call Shepherd's Bush. So I called Shepherd's Bush on a Tuesday morning and said, I'm wondering if somebody can help me figure out what I'm doing wrong in this chart. And she said, well, let me pull the chart and I'll find somebody to help you. And not 2 minutes later, I hear, "Hi Jane, this is Tina." The Tina?
How exciting.
I totally fangirled. I'm sure I embarrassed myself. I'm sure that phone call will be a story at their company Christmas party. But she couldn't have been kinder and sweeter and helpful. You know how sometimes you really admire somebody, and kind of put them up there on a pedestal, and then you meet them at one point and you're like, oh, that was kind of disappointing. Couldn't have been more opposite. Very kind, very patient, very sweet. Set me straight, offered to... The chart had been updated.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You don't know if it had been updated because you don't know where to look.
Well, as soon as it came out of the box at the local Needlework store, I had to have one of each. So it's not like I...
And it was a while ago, too.
2003.
Yep.
So it was a while ago. She offered to send me text me a copy of the page that had been modified. Couldn't have been nicer. So that was my big, like, fangirl moment.
And she texted me, "Oh my gosh,
I talked to Tina!
I talked to Tina!" And of course I knew exactly who Tina was.
Good, because if you were like, Tina, this maybe would be going in a different direction today. Hard to say. What about you? Do you have finishes?
I have one. Well, I have tons of patterns at home, so don't get me wrong on that. But I wanted to start and finish something that was a little bit easier.
Oh, I haven't seen this.
So I refer to it as my black cat, but it's really called Cats on Parade by Blackbird.
Yeah.
And I chose to stitch it on 32 count this way. That's going to be hard to get used to, Jane.
You can do it.
Cognac. 32
beautiful.
count cognac. And using just 2 strands of black floss, DMC. But instead of this little 4-stitch little diamond thing, I decided to put buttons, tiny buttons on there, just for a little dimension. So I will finish this as a drum. I've done a couple of drums. Not my favorite finish, but
they're beautiful.
They are. They really are. And I'm going to use black boiled wool because during the pandemic, I boiled wool for a week.
What, did you make soup on it?
Yeah,
Or what
I
did you
had
do?
big kettles.
What's for dinner tonight, Julie?
That's what Tom said. He came home and he goes, "What are you making?" And I go, "Well, this is black wool.
This will be wool stew."
Yeah, this is green. I had these pots on the stove and boiled them,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, now I can check that off my list of things to do. So that's my finish. Seriously, I have one finish. That is really sad. But,
I love it.
I've
That's
got
a lot of stitches.
Yeah.
And how do you get your stitches so perfect? Because this is the other thing that's different
With us.
is Julie stitches in hand.
Yeah.
And her stitches are perfect. I am a stabby pokey kind of gal. Not so perfect.
Well, the reason why I chose this is because I wanted something I could do in the evening where I have my days are light, magnification, and I didn't want to have to switch a bunch of colors. So I thought I'll just do it. And this was done in hand. But what I find easiest is I just roll. Then I can hold that in my hand and steady it on the arm so my shaking is minimal. And then I can work this way. When I work on a scroll rod, I have to have it on a pillow. And I find that it's cumbersome for me, but I can do it. But when you've stitched Hardanger for 26 years, that's in hand. You can do Hardanger on a scroll rod if you've got carpal tunnel or whatever, but I'm just used to doing everything in my hand, so it's really hard for me now. I notice when my hands are really bad, I think I might have to have surgery, but I'm not ready for that. But the scroll bar does help because sometimes my hand gets so cramped from holding it in hand. But I kind of guess I'll jump in with, I did order some things and I got some delightful deliveries.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Yes. So I'm anxious to start these. So, first on my list was by the Blue Flower, The Gentle Rain, and this way. Isn't this horrible? How do people do it? I just love it. It says, how sweet the music of the rain. And this is special to me because all the years I've known you, she'll text me, it's going to rain tonight. I can't wait. We have to open up our windows. And my daughter and granddaughter love to play in the rain, have ever since they were little. So I'm anxious to start that. Then this is Lucy Bean, Love in Stitches. This is the Colonial Flag sampler. Now, I've not done anything of hers, but even though I still have Easter up in my house,
that's okay.
I have 5 months of Americana. I'm really into Americana. And then, of course, Jane and I both got this. Her delightful delivery made me go and order it. What is it, Jane? The Plum Street Flag Flock. Yeah, I love that. Yeah. That I might have to start for the next one.
I'm kind of in the mood to do more patriotic things.
Yeah. Well, I just love that in my house. This one, speaking of flag stuff, this is Carriage House Samplings. Am I getting any better at this?
Yes.
Am I?
Yes.
And I'm not sure I'll have, this is on 40 count linen, but remember I just told you I wanted to do something like a tapestry pillow, but I'll have to check the dimensions to make sure it's not a ginormous something. And then this one, you kind of almost have to take a little moment of silence. Yeah, this beautiful. Is Glendon Place. Come, said the wind. And I'll show it to you, and then I will do a dramatic reading.
Oh, good. I'm going to take a...
Are you going to have it?
Yeah, I want to stay hydrated for the dynamic.
It said, come, said the wind to the leaves one day. Come o'er the meadows, and we will play. Put on your dresses, scarlet and gold, for summer is gone, and the days grow old. Oh my.
I know.
I don't know. I just have to do this. Maybe that will be my new start. Oh my God, no, I have 2 new starts. Watch out. I'm on a roll. And then last but not least, happy, happy, happy.
You're killing me.
Yeah. This is Something Blue by Rosewood Manor. Love Karen's designs. When we took this last trip to Needlework Galleria in St. Charles, Missouri, my daughter and granddaughter came with. Now, they've known I've stitched all their lives, but they had never been to a show. So it was kind of like a field trip. Last show, Catherine and Bella drove down. Tom and I drove down. So, you know, it was really fun. And I took Bella to the different designers, and they knew who she was by Facebook and by me talking endlessly about, well, I only have one grandchild. So we would take them. So we went to Karen's room, and I said, now, if you see anything you like, you know, just let me know. And she said, I like this, Grandma, but does she have something purple? And I said, well, we can stitch it on purple. Oh, you can do that? Yes.
I love that.
Yes, we can. So that's what I have for my delightful deliveries. What came to your house?
Well,
drum roll, please.
Yeah, I'm terrible. I mean, I belong to the, why am I yelling? I belong to the monthly fabric club and the monthly overnight cotton club for color and cotton.
I gotta join a club.
So May came, this is, and I'm on their 32 count. So May came, so this is 32 count sweet tea. I love the color.
They're beautiful.
That's more representative of it.
Of the color, yeah.
Yeah, and then these are the 5 colors.
What is that? Is that 32? That would be perfect for this Come Said the Wind I bet you that would be a good color for that. Well, she's not going to share.
I'll share.
All right.
I'll share. And then I just today actually got some mail, and this is
So not fair.
Sam Sarah Katie did in coneflowers, and oh, I just love it.
Very nice.
So whimsical, so bright and cheery.
Well, the fabric, show me the
I had to
fabric.
indulge in the fabric. This is 30 count weeks purple linen, and these are some of the called for colors.
Look at how they just pop on there.
Yeah, I think I had some of the colors that are called for in my huge overdyed stash.
Yeah.
But I picked up, I think, most of them. And then while I was on the Sarah Designs,
I'm ordering that next.
Happy Life.
You gotta read what it says. It's so charming.
In the off chance you won't live forever, you may as well be happy now.
Yeah. And there's a cupcake in there.
I
love
it.
that.
Yeah. And then I had one other thing that also is Sam. And this is called Patriot. Over the Hill Patriot.
Isn't that cute?
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. And it came with, I won't show you the back because you'll get a glimpse of the pattern. But it came with a few cute buttons. And up in that blue, the star is actually a button.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I hope I don't want to do it. This is done on 20 count blue denim. And I would like it to be smaller. So I will probably go through my stash.
I wonder if in those mystery drawers
Perhaps.
over there might be a blue, being that's your favorite color. If
Be.
not, we have to order some.
Yeah. Oh, darn. Shopping spree.
Shopping. Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
That's it?
There are a couple of shepherd's bush things that came today. I'll share those next time.
Next time. Well, I think this was a very big step for us. We've only talked about it for, a year. And it's like we just have to do it.
It takes us a while to be
Jane and I
spontaneous.
have known each other for, I think we did the math, carry the one, 28 years.
Yeah.
And it really would take a lifetime of Flosstube videos to
That's for sure.
tell you how we got to this point
Yeah.
of actually being on camera at our age. But moving forward, we'll reflect on how our friendship and our love for needle and thread has woven in and out of our lives for 28 years.
Yeah. So hopefully we will see you again. Don't
Yes.
know how soon, but we definitely will be back for number 2. And so until next time, wine sounds good. Maybe with lunch.
Next wine time.
So, until next time, everybody stay well and happy stitching to all of you.
Yes. Thanks for viewing. Bye.
Bye-bye.